Hey everybody, Vicarious Viking here. Welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth mod show. In this episode, we are going to be taking a look at yet another playable character mod, and this character is called Uriel. No, not really. It's Uriel, and by no means was I trying to imply that this mod is fit for the toilet or anything like that. It's actually a rather cool mod. Uriel is an archangel from Christian religion, so this is going to tie in thematically pretty well with the rest of this game and all of its warped religious themes. I don't know if that's important to you guys. Me, personally, I could care less. They could have an alien from outer space as a playable character, and I would play it as long as it was cool. So Uriel, we can think of as kind of an angelic alternative to Azazel. They are a melee-based character. You'll see down at the bottom it says that they start with the sword. That's actually just a reskin of Mom's knife, and it looks pretty neat. I'll show it to you when we jump into the game. If you're wondering what that image is above the word Uriel, that is actually a beam of light. Why a beam of light, you ask? Well, that is because Uriel, much like Azazel, does not actually have a physical form. So she is represented by this beam of light here in the character select screen. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. I am going to let you know that I'm running version 2.0 of this mod. There's a version 2.1 of this mod out as well. The reason I'm using the earlier version is because the later version, 2.1, actually just gives you a little bit less health, a little bit less speed, and a little bit less range. And most importantly, the reduced health and the reduced range, I find, made it quite a lot less good and quite a lot less fun. So I'm rolling with version 2 of this mod, and I will put a link to both versions of this mod in the description. So you can see this is Uriel here. Normally she would start with flight, but actually that's only if you have the item Fate unlocked. The item Fate obviously lets you start with flight and an eternal heart. So normally she would actually have an eternal heart up here in her health as well. But if you don't have Fate unlocked, you will not start with Flight or an Eternal Heart. And I do not have Fate unlocked. If you want to know how to unlock Fate, I'm not going to spoil that here. You'll have to figure out for yourself, which I'm sure you can just look it up. So you can see the reskin of the knife here, and Uriel herself looked really cool. I really like the knife. This is functionally identical to Mom's knife. This is Mom's knife. Like I said, it's just a reskin. Uriel obviously is this white archangel, which is cool. The white angel of death, as she likes to be called. And with flight, she would be a really awesome character. She's still a really interesting character, even without flight. But actually, the fact that I don't have flight is actually a little bit problematic. Let's look at the items that I do have for now, and I'll explain why flight's problematic in just a second. So, the 2.0 version of this mod, I start with Roid Rage, Mom's Knife, and Cricket's Body. Cricket's Body is just to reduce my range, which is why my max range is kind of right about there. The 2.1 version of this mod, there's no Roid Rage, so you're a little slower, which is fine because I'm actually really quick. And then you have Cricket's Body, and on top of that you also have number 1, which makes your range even shorter still. It makes it like crazy short, which is why I opted to go with version 2.0 with this mod as opposed to 2.1, because I think it made it way too small. So the thing is, whereas I don't have flight unlocked, it's a bit of a problem because you can actually encounter rooms that you can't even get out of. You can't even like reach the enemies to kill them. Like that room in the caves where there's the 3 spiders on one side of the wall and then there's a big pit between you and them. I actually got to that room with both versions of this mod, 2.1 and 2.0, and even though I have an increased range with 2.0 as opposed to 2.1, I still did not have enough range to reach the spiders on the other side of that wall. So if you don't start with flight, there's a good chance that you'll come across some rooms that you can't even actually deal with, which is kind of a bit of a big drawback for this mod. Hopefully the developers of the mod find a way to make it so that you can start with flight without having to have Fate unlocked already. As it stands right now, though, this is how it works. However, they are still working on this mod. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, very sneaky. So it should be updated, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do make it so that you start with flight no matter what, even if you don't have Fate unlocked. Not quite sure how they'll do it. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the actual people who came out with this mod. This was posted by Dragos ZX on the Binding of Isaac subreddit and the Modding of Isaac subreddit, respectively. But this was actually based on a concept by Daniel Craig a few days earlier. Another reason I actually prefer 2.0 is because it's a little bit more true to Daniel Craig's original vision for this mod, the health and everything. So there you go, another reason that I think 2.0 is better. Also, the art for this mod, I believe Dragos ZX did the art for it originally, but then Blowpo Pro let him know that he was working on some art as well, and that he was free to use it if he wanted to. And I think now this is like a conglomeration of Daniel Craig's concept, Blobo Pro's art, and Dragos's actual like coding, I guess, and working on the mod. So it's kind of like the three of those all together. In any case, I believe that's actually all that there is to this mod. I think it's really interesting. Oh, this replaces Blue Baby, by the way, so I can't pick up, heart containers. If I pick up a red heart container, it's just going to become a Spirit Heart. So this character does roll exclusively on Spirit Hearts, and that can make her pretty tricky, to be perfectly honest. But she's also really powerful. Starting with Mom's Knife is obviously a very powerful starting item. I found that 2.0 was kind of easy, and 2.1 was actually fairly tricky. I am going to leave a link to download both of these in the description, and you can choose for yourself which one you think you will prefer. I almost forgot to mention, this character starts with the Rosary Bead trinket, which increases your faith, and the higher your faith stat is, the better your chances of soul hearts appearing, and the better your chances of finding deals with the angel. Also, whereas the sword is actually just a reskin of Mom's Knife, anything that synergizes with Mom's Knife is still going to synergize with this, the Ludovico technique, Brimstone, Tammy's Head, all that good stuff. And that's going to do it for this episode, so I want to thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like, as it does help out quite a bit. To see more Binding of Isaac Rebirth mod showcases, you can check out my channel and subscribe to be notified of when I come out with new videos. My name is Vicarious Viking. You guys have a great day, and I will see you later.